Yo, what's good? David Scam Guy here, jmavsinc, back giving another video. It's probably not going to be a long one today. Today we're going to be talking about the cinematic settings that I use for the Canon Eos R. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of videos talking about the Eos R, and I just thought I would give you guys the settings that I use, especially with the test video that I just did with shooting in the night, the low light tests with the Eos R. You could actually watch that video. I'll link it up above, but this is basically going to be talking about the settings that I use to get cinematic video and a little bit of photos with the Canon Eos R. So let's do it right quick. Alright, cool. So we got the Eos R in front of us, and these are the best cinematic settings, or what I feel I use to get the best cinematic look out of my Eos R. So let's delve deep into that right now. So you go into the menu button, you have the movie record quality. Here you can choose out of the various different frame rates. I personally shoot everything in 60 frames per second. I do that because I like to slow down my footage, but you can see you go up to 4K 30 frames per second in all I. Now what's important here is that you always pick a codec that has all I. All I has all of the information, and it has so much information for 8-bit profile. So like I said, I'm going to choose 60 frames per second, all I. That's going to be my movie record size. You have the option to view back your footage in 24 frames per second, but we're not going to do that right now. You have high frame rate. This is only available in 120 frames per second in 720p, but you will lose image stabilization and autofocus and audio. I'll do a separate video talking about that, but it's still usable, you know, and you do get it in all I. But for everyday usage, I mean, compared to the Sony a7 III, it's not necessarily the best. So let's go back. Sound recording is manual. Time code, I don't use that. Movie digital image stabilization. Now when I'm using this, I use on enable, because you get a slight crop in, and when I'm using this with image stabilized lens, it actually acts as if it's a gimbal. So I've been doing a lot of handheld shots with the Eos R, and that's how I've achieved it. Lens aberration control, I just got everything on. Remote control, I don't have a remote control, so that's disabled. ISO speed, I don't have anything on those. My white balance, normally I'm in daylight, so I would set it to daylight. In most situations I would put it on auto. So for the situation, let's put it on auto. Canon log settings, I do have my log turned on, and you have the option for 8-bit and 10-bit. 10-bit is with let's say the Atomos Ninja 5. You can use it with the Atomos Ninja 5 to get 10-bit recording, but I don't have that hooked up right now, so we're gonna go to 8-bit. That is still enough with Canon log, and Canon log is definitely the driving force for your cinematic video when it comes to the Eos R. View assist, I leave that on because, you know, I'm able to properly expose my image. Color matrix, you can do cinema EOS or neutral. Personally, I leave it in neutral because I feel like it gives you a better look straight out of the camera from log footage. High ISO speed, I don't use that. HDMI display, I haven't used that because I am not using an HDMI display. Autofocus method, you can switch between tracking, single point autofocus, expand around. It's literally just your choice on what you feel. I normally leave mine as expand around. Touch and drag, I want to make sure that all this is on. I leave it on the right side so that when I'm touching and dragging an image, I can just go on the right side. Manual focus peaking settings, I cut that on. I put it on high, and I leave it on red. I wish they had white, but let's leave it on red. Lens electronic manual focus, I just cut that on. So that's basically what I'm doing when I'm setting up for video. Now what you can also do is, once you press the mode button, you can go in and you can set your settings to a custom profile. So you have CM1, you have C1M, C2M, and C3M. I have my profile set as just a normal standard profile to If I want to shoot, it's at 125 aperture, f2.8 ISO. I mean f2.8 and ISO 4000. And you literally can just adjust this as you go. You know, even though this lens goes down to 1.8. My second profile, I have that in slow motion. As you can see, the H and M, and this is already set to certain settings, and I can just adjust when I'm going in on this particular camera. Custom 3, I think it's still at whatever it was set to. I didn't set anything at it, but for the most part I shoot in custom 1, custom 2, and manual. So let's go into photo right quick. So when I'm shooting photo, I use 2 modes. You have the manual, where you have full control of everything that you're using with the EOS R. So let's go back into the menu with this. Image quality is raw. I love to use raw photos from when I'm editing in Lightroom. Dual pixel and raw, yes, definitely enable that. Cropping aspect ratio, I put that to full. Image review is 2 seconds. Release shutter without card, yes. Lens operation control, like I said, you cut everything on. I'm not using a speed light, so I wouldn't need that. I just leave these at the default settings. If I want to increase the ISO speed, I can, but I don't. Like I said, I just leave those at the regular custom settings. With color style, color space is sRGB. Picture style, I don't want this in auto, so I want this in neutral. Autofocus operation is servo. Like I say, you can switch those around. Continuous autofocus is enabled. Touch and drag settings are enabled. Same thing as basically the video settings. And you know, you still have full control over your touchscreen here. This is definitely like one of the better things with Canon. You know, your full touchscreen over everything from your menu down to your controls. It's definitely one of the better things about Canon. Now, the controversial touch bar, I have mine set to switching my focus modes. So when I'm using different autofocus points, if I want to do tracking, if I want to do single point, then this is a quick way that I switch that. And if you want to set that, you can go to, I think this is page 4 on camera operations, and here you can go in and set what do you want your multifunction bar to do. And I have mine set to switching the autofocus modes. The next side I have to, if I want to cut, okay, I guess that's not working. Okay, now it's working. So I have this with touch and drag on or off. So I want to cut it on or off. And that's basically it. Those are my cinematic settings for the Canon EOS R. Those are my cinematic settings for the Canon EOS R. If you guys enjoyed this content, if you guys, you know, are feeling this video, make sure to go down and hit the like and subscribe button with the bell so you can be notified as to when I drop new content. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff about the EOS R. I already covered low light tests. I already covered the whole camera, why you should actually get it in 2020. And I'm probably going to move on to the lenses that I love to use for the EOS R now. So definitely look out for those videos, and don't forget to leave a comment below in the comments to let me know how you guys are feeling about the EOS R or these videos, or if you just want a shout out, because it's probably going to be featured in the next video. But until next time, I'm Davis the Camera Guy. See you guys later.